Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back for day 9 of the 12 days of Giftness. Today we are talking about self-care. Self-care. What is self-care, you may be asking? Well, caring for yourself. It's quite self-explanatory. As per, we're going to start with some quotes. Quote number 1. The reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Whoa! It's true though, isn't it? It's definitely true. Quote number 2, the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. And both of those quotes speak to self-love, self-care, putting yourself first. It's about filling your own cup, recharging your own batteries, replenishing your needs, your requirements, so that you have energy and love and focus that you can give to others. There are so many things that go into self-care, but ultimately it's about putting your own oxygen mask on before you help others. How can we help others? How can we give of ourselves if we are empty inside, if we have not filled the parts of us that require filling to be able to give? If you've got $10 in your hand, you can't give someone 20. It doesn't work like that. You can only give what you have. So ask yourself the question, how do you care for yourself? How do you put your needs first? What do you do for yourself to ensure that you refill and recharge yourself so that then you can go and give to others? Then you can be the best parent, the best employee, the best friend, the best you. For some reason, a lot of people don't see the connection between what they put in their body, as in food-wise, nutrition, and what they get out of it. And there's quite a common analogy about putting 91 petrol into a race car and then wondering why the car doesn't perform properly. If we put really highly processed, sugary, fatty, salty, greasy, unhealthy food into our bodies, how can we expect our bodies to function at their ultimate capacity? If we don't put the best in, how can we expect the best out? We might say that, oh, this certain food tastes nice, but our taste buds can change. And is it respecting ourselves? Is it caring for ourselves? Is it loving ourselves to put crappy, unhealthy, junky food into our bodies? Is that an act of respect and love, or is that an act of disservice? And I'm not here to judge what you do and don't do with your eating, with your life. These are just questions to consider and ponder. But I do like the saying that rubbish goes in the bin, not in our bodies. So if we're constantly filling our bodies with rubbish, how can we expect to look and feel our best? If we continue down the line of food, a lot of people say, well, what can I eat? How do I know what's good for me? How do I know what's not good for me? A lot of us aren't taught about basic nutrition, but we can break food down into the 5 R's. So the 5 R's, does the food roam or grow? Does the food rot? Is the food real? Can we recreate it in our kitchen? Can we identify the ingredients to make it in our kitchen? And could we eat this thing raw? Now, I know that some people are vegan or vegetarian, so the roam aspect might not be applicable to you, but you can substitute the word grow for roam. If it grows in the garden, if it grows on a tree, most likely we can consider it food. So there are certain foods like potatoes that ideally you wouldn't want to eat raw. You'd cook them first, but you know exactly what's in the potato. It's real, it's recognizable. Things like Coca-Cola or gummy bears or potato chip seasoning, we don't really know what's in these things. If you had to replicate these things in the kitchen, I think we'd really struggle. We don't want to have to make a science lab just to replicate something that we deem food. So there's another saying that I really like, which is, if it grows on a plant, you can eat it. If it's made in a plant, avoid it. If you're shopping and you pick up a packet of something and you turn it around and look at the ingredients label, if you're reading ingredients that you don't know what they are, should we really be putting those things in our bodies? And I'm not saying that you can't have the odd treat every now and again if you go out to have a party or something. It's what we fill our bodies with most of the time. That has the real impact. So we often think about self-care and nutrition and looking after ourselves in terms of what we eat. And that's one way of consuming things. But what about all of our 5 senses? What other ways can we consume things? As in, take things into our bodies. Are we constantly breathing in fumes, paint fumes, fuel fumes, artificial air fresheners, those sorts of things? Those things can have an effect on our bodies over the long term. What about things that we put on our bodies? Creams and lotions. Those things soak into our bodies and get absorbed into our systems. What about what we hear? Is the kind of music and talk that we listen to, is it the kind of music and sounds that are uplifting and inspiring and inspirational? Or are they quite depressing? Like if we're constantly listening to sad songs, are we going to feel crazy happy? Probably not. Also, what are we consuming with our eyes? We're constantly scanning. Even if we don't realize we are taking things in. If we think about things like what we're watching on TV or Netflix or games that we might play, are we watching a lot of violent movies or playing graphic games? Things like that. These are all ways that we consume things, take things into our bodies. And so if we consume really healthy, nourishing things from our environment, we could typically expect to feel nourished and whole and healthy on the inside. Let's talk about pampering ourselves. Because sometimes the topic of health and nutrition, people go, oh, blah, 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 cut to the fun stuff. How do we pamper ourselves? When we take 5 minutes, when we take 20 minutes, when we take half a day, when we take the evening off, when we take the weekend off, what do we do to pamper and nourish ourselves? To refill our tank? Sometimes we give so much of ourselves to our jobs, to our families, to clubs we might be a part of, or other groups and things. But what do you do that's just for you? Do you enjoy a nice bubble bath with a glass of wine and a nice book? Do you go for a beautiful walk along the beach? Do you love to go camping, hiking? Maybe going and getting a massage is really therapeutic for you and helps just refill your tank. And you don't have to do things by yourself. Sometimes having something like a date night or going on a day trip, that can be really therapeutic, really healing, really nourishing to your soul. Catching up with a friend, going out for a coffee with someone, having a really good heart-to-heart. There's so many different ways that we can nourish and look after ourselves. And I get it, sometimes life is just really, really busy. You might work full-time, you might have kids that you've got to get ready for school and take to afternoon activities and sports and things like that. But it's really important that we take little moments in the day that are just for us, just to stop and pause and breathe and go, yep, ready to go again. So what are those moments? Is it sitting phone free for 5 minutes, just observing nature, watching the birds out the window, people watching, sitting with a nice cup of tea and reading a magazine? Take note of those beautiful little moments throughout your day. Anyone that's ever gotten married will know that the day of your wedding is crazy, it's hectic. Even if you have a little wedding, there's still a lot going on. And when you get 5 minutes, just you and your spouse, just to relax and take it in and just spend a few moments just for you, those moments are so special. Or at the end of a long day when the kids are finally in bed and you get to just sit down and catch up with your partner. Enjoy those little moments. And life's not going to be crazy forever. Sometimes it's more chaotic than others. Sometimes we have more downtime. Sometimes weeks are really crazy. But it's just making those crazy moments manageable. And sometimes we feel like there's just so much going on. You think, oh, my life's just so busy. I have no time for me. If we make ourselves a priority, if we say, look, no, I am going to stop. I'm going to take 5 minutes just for me. We come back feeling so much more refreshed, so much more recharged. We have like a renewed energy that we can go, okay, cool, I'm ready to get back into it. Instead of just continuing throughout the day without a break. So I saw a demonstration that really got me thinking, and I'm going to replicate it with you. So I've got a water bottle here. The question is, how much does this water bottle weigh? You'd say, well, it holds 500 mils, so that's 500 grams. How much does the water bottle weigh? Let's just say it's 200 grams. So let's just say it could weigh 700 grams. Would we consider 700 grams heavy? No, not really. Can you lift it up really easily? Yeah, sure. Even if it's completely full. This isn't completely full. But if it was, 700 grams, really easy to carry around. But I want to ask you though, if you had to hold this water bottle without putting it down for half an hour, how heavy would it be then? It would still weigh, say, 700 grams. But if you've constantly got this water bottle in your hands, it might suddenly feel like it weighs more than 700 grams. What if we had to carry this water bottle for a whole day, a whole week, a month, a year, our whole life? How heavy would this water bottle be if we couldn't put it down? And so that really got me thinking about the things that we carry around with us, the extra baggage, the extra weight. If we found ways to put down our baggage, share the load, how much lighter and freer we would feel throughout the day. So let's put this water bottle down. Oh, I feel lighter already. And the thing is, the water bottle might only weigh 700 grams. And if we get to pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, it's never going to be a burden on us. But when we can't put something down, when we're constantly carrying something around, that's when we go, oh my gosh, I'd just love to be free from this thing for 5 minutes. Have you got a water bottle in your life? Something that you wish you could just put down, because even though it's relatively small, you've been carrying it for a long time. Take stock of your daily routine. Have you got a daily routine? Some people have a very rigid daily routine. Others, they just like to freeball it. They like to freestyle their day. There are benefits to both. But sometimes if we really take a look at our habits that we do every single day, we can see areas that we could tweak or tidy things up so that we do have a little more free time, so that we can manage our time a little more effectively, to then go and do more fun things, to have more quiet time, to recharge ourselves. So another little exercise to get you thinking, and you can do this with me right now, is a breathing exercise. And it's all about giving and taking. So if we're constantly taking from the world, taking from people, taking and never giving back, that's like breathing in. So what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in. Keep breathing in. Don't breathe out. Don't breathe out. Just keep taking and taking and taking. Come on, keep breathing in. Keep breathing in. Just keep taking. Never give back. Never give back. Never give back. Just keep taking. Okay. So you can see that that's really unsustainable. And now what I want you to do is I want you to breathe out. Breathe out. And just keep breathing out. Keep breathing out. Keep breathing out. Keep breathing out. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Just give a little bit more. A little bit more. Keep breathing out. Just share with some more people. Just give some more breath. Don't take any. Just give, give, give. You very quickly learn that you just can't give anymore and you feel like you're going to pass out. So that's a really good example of why give and take is so important. And we talked about breathing in one of the first few days of the 12 days of Giftness. But I really love that exercise because it makes us see how silly it is to constantly be giving without taking, or constantly be taking without giving. And it just really goes to show that that balance is so important. The balance of giving and taking. And sometimes we think, oh, I'm such a wonderful person because I give of myself. I give, 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 give. But if you're not taking, if you're not replenishing your supplies, pretty soon you're going to burn out. Pretty soon you're going to find how unsustainable it is to never take anything back for yourself. And unfortunately, nobody is going to put your needs first unless you put your needs first. You have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize your self-care. You have to prioritize your health and your well-being. There's another saying that says, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. And wouldn't you rather spend your days healthy and well and loving life than in bed debilitated with some kind of illness, some kind of sickness? I know what I'd rather be doing. I don't get it right all the time. Sometimes I do overexert myself. I do overextend myself. I do give too much, but my body soon tells me, hey, you haven't taken anything for yourself for a while. You need a day off. You need to spend some time just for you. I've definitely gotten better at listening to my body, tuning into what my needs are. I haven't got it perfect yet. Do we ever get it perfect? I'm not sure. If we take the time to really listen, what is our body trying to tell us? Some of you will be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is set out in a triangle, and at the base it has your most required needs in life. Fresh air, clean water, food, shelter, all your physical needs. On top of that is the need for safety. So living somewhere that you're not going to get shot at, you're not in the middle of a war zone, really important. On top of that is belongingness and connection, developing intimate relationships and having connections and friendships. On top of that is your esteem, so feelings of accomplishment. And then right at the top is your self-fulfillment. So living your best life, being the best version of yourself. And as you can see from the top, how can we possibly live the best version of ourselves if our basic needs, our fresh air, our quality food, our shelter is not taken care of? We can't be living our best lives and reaching our full potential if we're starving and living on the street. So we have to get the basics right. Get the basics right and build on that. Thanks, Maslow. So I want to hear all the ways that you look after you. How do you pamper yourself? How do you nurture yourself? How do you care for yourself? How do you water your own houseplant? For those of you that have heard of Marie Kondo, the Japanese lady who talks about sparking joy, what sparks joy in your life? What things do you do to fill your cup, to nourish and love yourself? So that is it for today. I hope that there's been some things in there that have maybe sparked some thought, sparked a little bit of self-examination. And remember, I'm not here to judge you or your lifestyle or your choices. It's up to you to decide if you're happy with your life and the things that you do. Just remember the breathing exercise of the importance of giving and taking, that balance, that reciprocation. Thank you once again for taking the time to be part of this course, to be part of this journey. I hope I've given you a little bit of food for thought today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 10. Take care.